Hi Transworld Sport, my name is Jhaniele Fowler, welcoming you to my home in Montego Bay, St. James.
Jamaican international Jhaniele Fowler is one of the most dominant netball players in the world today. In May, the 6'6" goal shooter completed her debut season for New Zealand side Southern Steel, who play in the Australasian ANZ Championship. She was named as the league's MVP and Best New Talent.
I had no idea I would have done so well. I didn't know I would excel that much. I went down there with the mindset that this is a stepping stone, this is a learning opportunity for me. You know, my first year is not going to be the best year, you know, but unfortunately I doubted myself too much, you know, so it was an amazing feeling when I found out I was the recipient of the awards.
We caught up with Jhaniele back in her homeland during the ANZ off-season. Her first sporting passion was actually track and field. However, with a mother who also played netball, it was inevitable that Jhaniele would follow in her footsteps.
I'm telling you, I am proud when she represents Jamaica to know that, you know, from humble background, my daughter that I care for 9 months is representing Jamaica on a large scale, travel all the world, you know, places that I read about.
Mum keeps a scrapbook documenting her daughter's achievements in the game, possibly inspiring the next generation of netball player in the family. Jhaniele's 4-year-old daughter, Hannah.
People would be giving me the newspaper because what I do, I collect every article in the newspaper for her. Right, so elated. I'm on top of the world. I can't believe my daughter is famous. Oh my God, my child? That's what I always say, my child. You know, so words can't explain.
There was a time when Dorothy feared that sport would not be a part of Jhaniele's life after she was diagnosed with rheumatic heart disease at the age of 7. Symptoms can include dizziness, shortness of breath and tiredness. It's a condition that Jhaniele still suffers from to this day, but is able to keep under control through medication.
One day my physical education teacher, she came up and said that she was going to start a netball team for the school. So she selected all the tall girls, and of course I was the tallest girl in school, you know, at primary level, and I was the goal shooter then when she selected me. So that's where my netball career started.
Along with playing professionally in the ANZ League, Jhaniele also plays for the Kingston-based amateur team Walgrovians in the Jamaican Super League. The two leagues run at different times of the year, so there's no clash. Walgrovians are Jamaica's most successful club side, having won the championship on 13 occasions. Club founder Patrick Brissett has looked on with pride as Jhaniele has emerged as one of the finest talents in world netball.
When we look at Jhaniele today, you realize how polished a woman Jhaniele is. Her mother did a fabulous job in training her, in guiding her.
Despite the fact that netball is the most popular female sport in Jamaica, work remains to be done in terms of commercial visibility and corporate sponsorship. Netball Jamaica President Martha Bernard acknowledges the difficulty of competing against the more established sports here.
Yes, track and field is big, and football is the king of sports here, but I proudly say, and say with all earnestness, that netball, every king needs a queen, and therefore if football is king, netball must be queens, and we are queens in Jamaica and in the wider Caribbean.
Jhaniele's image has been used on billboards around the country by Netball Jamaica in an effort to attract potential sponsors. The goal shooter makes a good living from the sport by playing in New Zealand, something she would never be able to do if she only played netball at home. But playing abroad hasn't been without its drawbacks.
It was extremely hard. Leaving my fiancé and my daughter back home, it was extremely hard because they're my everything, you know, and I've never been away from them for so long. So it was extremely hard. However, thank God for technology. Skyping and texting and calling was a major thing for us, and that's how we kept our communication going. So it was okay communicating, but it was still very hard being away from them.
In her debut season down under, Jhaniele proved a sensation. She smashed the scoring record for most goals in the regular season, amassing an incredible tally of 666. In addition, she posted the highest goal average in ANZ history with 51.2 goals per match. She's the tallest player in the ANZ League at 6'6", and in recognition of that fact, Southern Steel had to have a bed specially constructed for her.
Netball in Australia and New Zealand is very different. You know, it is, let me just first say, facilities are extraordinary. You have better facilities and stuff, you know, and in order for you to be a good player, I think facilities is the key, you know, because how can you train and you don't have some things to work out with, and, you know, there's not proper courts and stuff, so facilities is a plus, and they have that.
Jhaniele is a role model for young girls in Jamaica and has become the figurehead for the national team, who are known as the Sunshine Girls. The national side regularly punches above its weight, successfully competing with and beating nations who boast more resources than them. Jamaica finished fourth at the last World Championship, a tournament that's been dominated by Australia and New Zealand over the years.
The good thing about Australia and New Zealand, particularly Australia, is that they share their best practices with you. So you know that they see the importance of having more than just 2 or 3 top teams in a sport for it to grow globally, and they therefore have done everything to help Jamaica to move forward. And we really want to thank them for that.
After her stunning debut ANZ season, it will be difficult for Jhaniele to surpass her achievements next year. But although she's proud of her personal records, she'd be just as happy to see her team, Southern Steel, win the championship.
Don't let her be the mood. The pass cannot go too wide. The pass cannot go too high. When she is in the mood, I'm telling you, she's awesome. So I'm not shocked at the 666 goals. I'm not shocked at all.
With her family planning on joining her in New Zealand next year, and with an unforgettable debut campaign under her belt, this young Jamaican woman is poised to make her sophomore season in the ANZ League as memorable as her first.
I've been underestimating myself, and I think it's a good thing for me to underestimate myself, because then it gives me more room to improve, you know. So, you know, I'm not at my peak as yet, and there is definitely a lot more come from me.
We started a little bit rocky, but we maintained good going. Good job. Good job. Good. Oh, Father, Jesus Christ, now be. Father, who art in heaven,